All right, let's look at a case study here on how things could go wrong. Um, so basically, what we are looking here is a scenario where the interview could start on your resume and not from the quiz, the mathematical quiz or those puzzles. As you can expect, there might be around 6 to 10 rounds of interview. The first round, sometimes it would be why this company, why are you leaving your current job, and things like that. The other round then could be about your resume, but sometimes things might just start with a resume. So you need to make sure you know each and every word of your resume very carefully, because that's where the drilling is going to come ultimately. So you should know each word that you are writing, because that matters the most. And if you're not sure about each word, what you can do actually is uh, take all those words, create a study material on all those words, so whether it be an old project or something that you have touched many years ago. So you can take projects out of that, you can do a lot of things and make sure that you know everything. So here is an example. If I write that the key skills I am focusing on is econometrics, Monte Carlo, regression, quant equity, corporate finance, MATLAB R, VBSS, SQL, then I should be able to link these up with my profile and be prepared to talk at least 4 to 7 lines about each of these topics on how they fit in. So that's where it becomes important for knowing all of these topic for your interview. Sometimes when you have given some exam or done some degree and you are out of touch, you really don't remember those terms. It is of utmost important that you get back, prepare a study material out of those topics, something that is exclusive to you, and make sure you do it right. So here are some examples of some mishap on how things could go wrong, and I'm quoting about 7 examples here. So the failure could be in the first round where they could ask you questions on Monte Carlo simulation, and they could ask you questions on logistic regression. So that's where if you jumble around with them. So an example of this where things did not go right is, suppose you have written Monte Carlo simulation in your resume, and they might ask you that give me around 5 examples of Monte Carlo simulation. Or they might just give you 5 examples from their case and ask you the expected value. So there was a question something like if something is distributed normally with some mean and standard deviation, and you multiply them or you take an average, what is the expected result of that multiplication? So those kind of questions were asked, and you were not able to answer, so you might fail around with those kind of things. The other thing that you could fail around is the projects that are given to you, the take-home projects. If you fail to deliver them on right time, you are in great trouble then. The other questions that you could go wrong is the probability question. So as you can be rest assured that all of these interviews would have at least 33% of mathematical questions. And out of those mathematical questions that you have, if there is 100 question, then around 30 to 40 questions you might have on probability. So just don't do that wrong. The other thing is, if you have cleared your FRM or CFA exam long time ago, things have become rusty, it's always good to revise them. So that was the case 2. The case 3 is sometimes things could go to your old engineering part. When they might ask you that what you were doing in engineering, the major project there, and these things might be like 6 to 8 years old. Things could go wrong there, and you must be able to handle that in the right way. Then you have failure in technical round, again option 4, where you don't have an experience in SAS, or you are not a very great fit in the specific technology that they want to work in. The other 5th example of failure, or a failure that could happen, is communication failure. So if your communication, if you're not able to pick phone, if you're not able to do things at the right time, or you are using a bad mobile, or something went wrong in the communication, then you have to be very careful about that. The next would be that it's similar to 4, that they can ask you something that you have written in your resume and you're not very good at that, and you're not able to talk about the technical part in a convincing way. And the last seventh point is again something that has related to with interest rate model, credit valuation adjustment, and some of the FRM or the CFA things if you have passed those exams. So doing the certification in fact opens all those questions to you, and you should be aware about that. Now some questions that are typical if you write fixed income and derivative modeling, and this is something that would remain common in all of the interviews, are the interest rate modeling questions. How are interest rate model, the long term and the short term model? You should be able to have at least something in your bag about simulation, whether you talk about the Cox and Gross model or any other short term model like Hathrow model or any other thing. You should back your ideas with that. Then each interview would have a Black and Scholes question, and they would definitely ask you to tell what you think about this. Then you might have questions on Monte Carlo simulation, because ultimately solution to a lot of these things are done in the same way as Monte Carlo simulation and the geometrical Brownian motion power of the Monte Carlo simulation. So these are some standard questions that you will go again and again if you are looking for something into the fixed income and the derivative side. So this is an example of a sell side investment bank when they want to sell their products. So that was all about the kind of questions and how you can prepare for different topics for your interview if you are focusing on the fixed income and the derivative roles. I hope you find it useful. Thank you for listening.